Hey, what's up, guys? It's High Value Journey. Back with another video, and on today's video, we're gonna be talking about a concept that I actually got from someone on Instagram called Ghost Mentors. So I put together a little presentation to kind of be able to gather my thoughts and give some visuals behind the idea that I'm going to be discussing today. So we're just gonna go ahead and start off by actually reading where I got the inspiration for this post, and credit goes to at Ajac_Cortez. I actually think it's AJA_Cortez, and that might be a typo. So I'll be sure to link his Instagram in the description to properly credit him. But okay, so here it goes. This was directly taken from an Instagram post, by the way. So just so you guys are aware of that. So it reads, if you were raised without a father figure, you will very likely experience a void of influence and direction in your life as you near adulthood. Ideally, for young men and women, you would encounter different men throughout your life that could be role models for various qualities. A fortunate few might find a father figure, but more than likely you would need to be on your own. Or more than likely you will be on your own. It falls on you to raise yourself. You must take control of your own development then. Ghost mentors is a term I heard years ago, and I have liked it ever since. It refers to mentors that are very real to you, but you will likely never meet them, or literally cannot at all due to death and time. Ghost mentors can be individuals, they can be books, they can be stories. Stoic literature is a great example of this. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Cicero, they have been fathers to many men. So have the Proverbs of the Bible. So has the Bible itself with all its lessons. Today you can find men from all over the world, masters in all disciplines, and you can select role models for everything. This is not to be taken lightly. You may never have the love of a father, but you can at least have the teachings and wisdom of one. And obviously, there's another little typo there with the you may never have the love of a father, but I think this was pretty eye opening in the way that I sort of always knew this concept in the back of my head, learning from men that I'd never meet, that I probably will never meet in real life, which is, I think it's a common theme that many of us have who are sort of in like the whole manosphere, self improvement slash red pill space, whatever you want to define it as. I don't really want to define myself as a red pill content creator at all because I don't like the negativity that I guess that comes with that space. Not necessarily that I'm against it because it's taught me a lot, but I've also seen the bad side to it, and the bad side to it can be pretty disheartening and also pretty dangerous when some men discover the red pill and they develop red pill rage and a hatred for women. And you'll see it in the comments too. You'll see it, people saying things like, "What's the point of trying? Women are hypergamous." Um, just complaining about hypergamy in general. It's kind of like nobody really cares. Like nobody wants to throw you a pity party. Like I get it. You're probably like, I don't know, 30 years old, out of shape, not that much money. I mean, yeah, you're upset, but that's your own doing. Anyways, moving on from that, we're gonna go ahead to the next slide. So we're kind of going to discuss who's been a mentor to me. Many men, including my stepfather, have taught me valuable lessons in life. Usually from these men, I picked and chose what I wanted to take away from them. Meaning I may not have wanted a life similar to that man, but I'll take the years of wisdom he had to offer to me. So this goes kind of to maybe coworkers that I've had in the past. There were some more older men. They probably were 30, 35 years my senior. So of course they've lived a lot longer than I have. They've lived a lot more life. So with life comes life experience, and they bestowed some of their life experience upon me, which I could kind of learn from, and I kind of had an example of what not to do. They would tell me, "Don't do this. I wish I did this instead," and I'd pay attention and I'd actually take in what they're telling me. And often it was men of my family who tried to bestow lessons upon me, etc. My uncles, I guess I could say. Many of the lessons stuck with me. I have a vivid memory of working out with an uncle of mine and my brothers, and my uncle saying to me, "You're walking like a bitch." And I'll give you guys some context to this story in a minute. I wasn't older than 11 years old, but he was right. I was tired and exhausted. I was walking similar to how a woman walks when she's whining. He explained it to me, and from there on out, I didn't need to be corrected again. More examples to come over the narration. So I'll set the scene like this. My uncles, he took me and my brothers out to a track to exercise for a little bit. And I honestly, it was so long ago that I can't even remember what the workout was. But something that I do remember him saying is, I think we were doing sprints, and I was walking with my hands on my hips. I was looking into the sky, just kind of walking like I was tired of everything, walking like with some sass. And as soon as he said, "You have that bitch walk right now," I was like a light bulb clicked in my head. I was like, I am walking like, even if I'm not a grown man, I'm still walking like a bitch. And even if you're not older than 11 years old, you already know that's not a good thing, right? So some other examples I'll give is, even as far as like my basketball coach when I was in high school. Whenever we would be like having a scrimmage or playing amongst ourselves, just practicing shit, and one of us would get pissed off at the other one if we started to argue, or if we started to argue over calls, and just going back and forth with the chitter chatter, he'd make us run suicides in the middle of practice. And I think everybody who kind of has a sports background has been through this, where the coach gets fed up with the bitching, and he instills physical discipline through repetitive exercises, just to kind of instill some more discipline into you, to where you need to learn to shut your mouth. There's going to be consequences, which that's an extreme way of putting it, but I think that's a good way of putting it nonetheless, in my opinion. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. So my ghost mentors and who they've been. So as far as authors, like someone like Robert Kiyosaki, Robert Greene, Neil Strauss, Tim Ferriss, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I mean, I think everybody starts off with that book. Like, I think it's just like a staple. It's like a unwritten rule that Rich Dad Poor Dad opens your eyes. Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. I'm actually in the middle of reading it right now, but so far I'm enjoying it for sure. Neil Strauss, I loved the book, The Game. Not necessarily for the tips that it gave me, but I really did enjoy the story behind it, and it kind of showed the dark side of making women your whole life. Tim Ferriss, The 4 Hour Work Week. I'm almost done reading that. That should be done by the end. I'll give it like 3 days, probably 3 more days. I'll be done with it. So basketball coaches also. So through my life, I also consider basketball coaches maybe people that I would play with who were older than me, like decades older than me, who just were trying to pass on the knowledge that they had. Like, they had never made it to the NBA, but maybe they played at a high level in college or overseas. So I always tried to get some information from them, or take what I could, even if it was just through observing what they did. How smart they were, how patient they were, and these weren't people who were in great shape, so they really had to score and have assists and just have a high IQ to actually contribute to their team. So, that's something that I wanted to pay attention to for sure. So in the whole red pill / self improvement space, AMS, which is alpha male strategies, he I feel like he's almost the godfather of the red pill space. I know a bunch of people are gonna disagree because there's people around before him, but I consider him the godfather because he kind of taught me the absolute basics to having a purpose, having money, having your shit together before you even worry about girls in the first place. He kind of showed that having your stuff together kind of inevitably brings girls within your universe, within your own personal universe. First Man, aka Chris Sturmy from the YouTube channel First Man, I think his videos just probably resonate with me the most because he's just, I don't know, he's extremely relatable, and he's shown his journey from not from start, but not to finish, because I mean he's nowhere near where he could be, but he showed himself over. I think it was like a 2 year, like a year and a half, like a physical transformation, and you could see it every single video. Him getting stronger, him going through a bulk, him going through a cut, and him speaking on it, which I think was really I think it was really, the word I'm trying to look for is not necessarily motivating, but more showing what can actually be done, and showing someone who's putting in that work, who isn't just talking about it, but actually doing it. And these other two, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, I mean, if you know them, then you kind of know why they would be mentors in the first place. Just their philosophies on life are just like unmatched. They're both extremely intelligent people. Everybody that I listed here is extremely intelligent, but these two especially. And another thing is, these two actually got me to have the inspiration, I guess, to get a girl on OnlyFans and to think about adding more girls to kind of scale into an agency. So Jay Waller, he's a newer one. I know he's in the War Room with Andrew and Tristan Tate. I think he's a great resource on YouTube. And in general, I think he just gives pretty good advice, which I can appreciate. And Richard Cooper, I read his book, The Unplugged Alpha. Um, Nothing necessarily was really new to me, but it more so reinforced what I already knew, and kind of, I guess you could say, sharpened my sword in terms of just like intelligence and looking at things a certain way, and kind of also, I guess, pushing me a little bit more forward and actually unplugging from the common myths that society would have you believe. Boxing coaches, for sure. I mean, these men I have met in real life, but then there's also the ones that are just on YouTube that are breaking down a fight or how a boxer boxes, or maybe just he's showing you different shadow boxing drills, different drills in general, just to help with getting better. And he might show him coaching his fighters and how he does it. And then there's also a limited amount of men who I'm also in the military with, who have a bunch of life experience over me that I've learned a couple of things from. So, and to kind of wrap it up, none of these men are my father, but I learned lessons from them, similar to how a son would. I kind of internalized what they would tell me because they were passing on knowledge as if I was their son. So it was only right for me to take it and try to do something with it, try to apply it to my own life. I'll likely never meet some of the men I listed, and I'm fine with that because I've taken what they've taught me and created a life that has undeniable potential as long as the work is continuously put into it. So that statement kind of speaks for itself. It's like every I'm not the only person who has on this knowledge, but I might be one of the only people who's applying it into my life. I know there's a lot of people who will just watch video after video after video on self-improvement, things like that, working out, but they won't actually go and apply it to their own lives. And I feel like in the little time that I've applied it to my life, which is probably coming up in a couple months on a year now, there's a huge dramatic difference in my life, and I only see it getting better because day by day I only get better. And I've noticed that I just every day I just somehow improve no matter what it is, but I know it's just because of the work that's being put in. Like, I won't see results a week from now, but 2 months from now I see a world of a difference. And for that keeps me motivated, that keeps me going, and it keeps me disciplined. I'm not always motivated, but I am always disciplined. So with that being said, guys, that was kind of my breakdown on ghost mentors. Not a concept by me again. It was, I believe, by at AJA_Cortez on Instagram. I could be saying it wrong, but I'll make sure I leave his Instagram in the description because his content is really, really, really insightful. He does pretty often. He does I guess AMAs, you could say, where you're free to ask him questions, and I just love to see his responses and his take on life in general. I think it's pretty straightforward in the way that he doesn't try to fluff the answers or bullshit them. If he has something to say on the topic, he'll say it. If not, he won't, which I can appreciate for sure. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I'll probably upload another video within the next couple of days. And I think it's going to be maybe a couple of book reviews on some books that I've read. And I'll kind of just give my take on them and what I liked about them. But thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give it a like. I'll be honest, I only have 2 subscribers right now, but even that doesn't feel real. I have, I think, maybe 30 views on my first video, and that definitely doesn't feel real. Probably like 5 likes. And it's kind of unreal to me to know that 5 people actually took the time to watch my video and actually like it. And I know that YouTube is something that's built up over time, but I don't know, seeing results that fast is kind of gives me a high as to what could actually be possible. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll have another video coming out in a couple of days.